Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Curt Premium hanging style bike rack right here on our 2022 Kia Carnival. So the Curt Premium is what I would call the family-friendly bike rack. And in fact, from all of the bike racks we have here at etrailer, I would say this is one of the best bike racks for the Kia Carnival because of how many bikes you can put on here. So what I have here is the 4-bike version, but you can get the exact same bike rack as the 5-bike version. It's just a little bit longer and has a little bit more weight capacity. It's not as fancy as some of our other bike racks, but it has some pretty good design features that I'm a fan of. So first off, let's take a look at the way our bike is mounted to this bike rack. We have 1, 2, and 3 mounting points. So that third one is going to be our anti-sway. When you are carrying around 4 or 5 bikes, you want to make sure they don't sway into each other as much. You do get an extra strap to help out with that, but this is one of the main features. So you just pull on that strap and then release it, and notice how much more sway we have. So let's just continue that for the rest of the bike. You pull the strap in order to release it from its tab. Just make sure you're facing the right way. There we go, that's a lot easier. 1 strap, 2 strap, and here's our 3rd strap. There we go. And with those out of the way, you can then just lift the bike up, bring it through the arms, and here's where it truly shines. Notice how it's tapered, so it's narrow in the end. If you have those small kids bikes, this makes it a lot easier to take them on and off the bike rack. So I'm just going to set this to the side so that we can take a closer look at this rack. Notice the way that the cradles are made. You have a lot of versatility with this one. You get to figure out the best way to fit your own bike. So these rotate that way depending on your frame, your shape, your size. You can move these straps around. Maybe put the strap diagonally or vertically. It's up to you. It does take a little extra effort compared to, let's say, Yakima's zip strips, but I kind of like it because then I know I have a really good and secure fit around my bike's frame. So here we have 2 cradles and another 2 cradles that are closer together. That's what I call family friendly. The 5-bike version is going to be exactly like this, where you have 2 adult cradles and then 3 kids cradles. So the distance apart is going to be about 5.5 inches from cradle to cradle. The same over here. And then if you do want to carry your smaller bikes, this makes it easier to do so. Now, we do have a weight capacity of 180 pounds total for the 4-bike version. The 5-bike version can carry up to 225 pounds, and that's 45 pounds per bike, which is more than your traditional bike rack, which usually can only carry 35 pounds. Now, when you do carry around a lot of bikes, there's going to be a lot of length added to the back of your vehicle though. So, measuring from our bumper to the end of the bike rack by these nice plastic reflectors, it sits at about 41 inches of length. The 5-bike version is going to add 5 more inches to that. So it's a good amount of length. Since you already have a long car, definitely something worth considering. If you might have to check the measurements in your garage, because whenever you back in or you try to park into a really tight spot, you will have to be mindful that you now have a bike rack as well as bikes behind you. Another thing about this bike rack though is when you are or not planning on going for a ride and you just want to make this a bit more compact, you can lower the arms. So you have a clip here, just pull that clip, and then you can pull this pin, hold on to that as you swing those arms down, push that pin back into place to secure everything, and then put that clip right in. There we go. And just like that, we now have it in the folded position. This is also going to be the position you'll have it when it's stored in your garage. Let's take some measurements to see the differences. Closest point is going to be from our bumper to that lever, and it sits at about 4.5 inches of clearance. Plenty of clearance. No worries about accidentally making contact with the vehicle. Even over here, you have about 3.5 inches of clearance. The length now added to the back of our vehicle is going to be bumper to the end of the shank, about 12 inches, so a foot. So big difference compared to the arm when the arms were folded up. Now the downside to this is then if you need to access your hatch, you won't be able to do so with it in the upright position. Good thing you can tilt the bike rack away. It's a little bit of a process. I'll guide you through it. First, you need to loosen this knob because it is holding this clip and pin in place. So take that clip out, pull that pin out, and finally lift up on this lever, and that allows you to tilt this down, and then you can now access your hatch. So you can see here how much space or clearance there is between the door and our bike rack. We can now get into our trunk, grab our bags, our waters, our jackets, our helmets, without having to take the bike rack off. You do have to take the bikes off though. That's something worth considering. If you have all 5 bikes loaded up, it's gonna take some extra time. So now I'm just gonna put everything back. Let's put this pin and that clip in there. And then with that in place, we'll tighten down this knob. So that knob is very important because this is gonna be what's preventing your bike rack from moving around. If you think there's gonna be a good amount of movement, it's probably because that rear knob isn't tightened down enough. Also notice back here how we have an anchor point. That's gonna be because this does not include locks, but you can put your cable lock right over here. It's welded to the bike rack. While we're down here, let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. This has a 2-inch shank, fits into our 2-inch hitch receiver. We have a bolt that goes through as well as a clip. You may want to pick up a hitch lock if that's something you're concerned about, or you can lock the entire bike rack with your cable lock to your hitch itself. Now you do have to use a tool to tighten this down. You can do what I do, is I use a 3/4 inch socket. Makes it so much easier to tighten it down quickly and easily because that's our anti-rattle bolt. It secures the bike rack to the hitch receiver. Let me demonstrate. I'm gonna shake our bike rack as to simulate that road movement and vibration. I have a little bit of movement up here that if you feel that, you can tighten down the arms itself. But look at how the bike rack is moving with the vehicle. That shows how secure that connection is because of that anti-rattle bolt. So make sure that's tightened down. All right, living with the bike rack like this, notice how it doesn't sit in the view of our rear view mirror or rear view window. Our taillights are still visible. It does cover our backup camera though, and a little bit of our license plate. That's gonna be normal for pretty much any hanging style bike rack. Good thing though that your Kia Carnival has a 360-degree view, so you'll still pretty much be able to see around you, even though you won't be able to see through your main backup camera. So my personal thoughts about the CURT Premium is if you are going to get this bike rack, go ahead and get the 5-bike version. That way you can maximize your space. You have all your friends, all your family inside of your Carnival. You're all ready to go for a ride. This can carry your bikes, especially if you have children's bikes. Those other hanging racks with the straight arms, they work well. They probably have more premium features like easier to use straps. But the downside is they usually don't have this narrow gap between the cradles. This is a game changer for those smaller kids' bikes. Definitely worth considering if you have those kids' bikes. So this right here was a quick look at the CURT Premium. If you're looking for something more premium, the Yakima back road could be a better option for you since it has more space between the cradles. If you're looking for a bike rack that can tilt away with the bikes on, you may be interested in a platform rack like the CURT Transfer that can carry up to 4 bikes and can tilt away, allowing you to open up the door. Hopefully this video helped you out with making that decision though for the best fit for your bikes and your adventure. This was a look at the CURT Premium 4-bike hanging rack on our 2022 Kia Carnival.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.